NASCAR Mobile 48 back again, and welcome back to another episode of NRR. And today we're going to be reviewing the New Hampshire race yesterday, and it was a pretty decent race, not the best, but I'll say it's a tiny bit better than the Martinsville race. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and review it. We got the top 10 cars, rate the race, and after that we're going to look at the playoff standings. And also, yes, on Saturday, it was my birthday. I've turned 15. I feel so blessed to be 15 because, you know, some kids never make it to 15 due to issues around the world. But yeah, I just feel so lucky to be 15, and I'm just blessed to be. And also, speaking of my birthday, I did not get my cars yet. I ordered them on Thursday. They should be coming this week because I have one car on pre-order, but it will not ship until fall, so I decided to replace it with a new car, a 2020 car that I haven't ordered yet. I'm going to order it as soon as I'm done filming, and then it should be here like around somewhere this week, hopefully before the Michigan race. So I'll find out later. But yeah, let's go ahead and get filming. Let's go ahead and look at our top 10. Finishing in first is Brad Keselowski. Keselowski, it was just, all day, it was just a Keselowski versus Hamlin show. Man, just what a great race. Keselowski was able to get his second win at New Hampshire Motor Speedway and his third of 2020, and he's starting to look like a Championship 4 contender. But yeah, Keselowski, they had a lot of great races this year with the 2-car, but they just haven't really went out and kind of dominated a race. But man, what do they need to get that next level? Well, after this win, they are right there. Like, they needed to go out and just dominate a race, and that's what today was for, with their Ford Mustang. And Keselowski said that he was proud of his team and the effort that they gave today. They had a really great race car, and it's so great to be and I bet it's so great to be racing in front of fans, because New Hampshire Motor Speedway had over 100,000 fans, I think less than 120,000 fans. But it's so great to be. But I bet it was so great to be racing it, in front of fans again, and it feels, and I bet it just feels like forever, ever since, the actual race that they've raced with fans was, Talladega or something like that. But yeah, they'll be racing with fans at the Daytona Road Course and at the Daytona Superspeedway. So yeah, just a great day for Brad Keselowski and the team, and this has to be their most earned win of 2020, because the other races, he just stole it from, Chase Elliott. He stole the Coca-Cola 600 because Chase Elliott pitted when he shouldn't have, and he also, he took that win for Chase Elliott after Chase Elliott made that over-aggressive move on Joey Logano, which kind of got those two out of race-winning contention, and that just gave the win all the way to Brad Keselowski. So yeah, congrats to Brad Keselowski, and let's see if he can go and get his first win at Michigan, which is his home. Finishing the second was Denny Hamlin. All day, it was the Hamlin Keselowski show. I thought it was going to be Hamlin and Harvick, but no, it was Hamlin and Brad Keselowski. Denny Hamlin had a really strong car. Him and Keselowski were, always battling in, stage 1 and stage 2. They were really going at it. Really, it was good, clean racing. But Hamlin, they just kind of were second there to the two. They could really do well on restarts, and they were going back and forth, because on that inside line on the restarts, it would not work. The outside line was the most dominant lane, except for that one restart where the inside lane actually worked. But wow, that was some really, really good short track racing, even though New Hampshire's not technically a short track, but it's like a bigger version of Martinsville, so I think it's a half short track, half intermediate. I don't know what you can call it, but but guys, in my opinion, I think the fans like what they saw there with Hamlin the 2 for most of the day. Some great side-by-side racing, and they treated each other fair, and it's good that both of them got one too, because we always like to see the most dominant car of the race win. Because when we don't see the dominant car win, it's kind of weird, and some people may like it, some people don't. But when the most dominant car wins, most people like it. So yeah, overall, really great day for Denny Hamlin, but he's still my championship contender. Well, actually, my championship. Finishing in third was Mark Truex Jr. Truex, I chose Hamlin and Truex to finish second in my NBC Sports Predictor app. My top 3 were Harvick, Hamlin, and Truex. I got the Hamlin Truex part right, and with NASCAR finish line, I chose Hamlin to finish second because I knew the Toyotas would finish second and third, and I knew a Ford was gonna win, but I didn't know it'd be Penske. But still, Truex, they ran second in the first stage and had a tire get away on pit road. That mistake will cost you in the playoffs, and they had to come from the back, but that definitely made things a lot more challenging for them. But they did have a decent Toyota, just wasn't quite driving like they needed to, and then it kind of burned the tires off after 25 to 30 laps. But they could hang on with them and would fall consistently off the 2 and the 11 car, but they did have the third best car, I would say that, and they finished third. So all in all, it's a good day for Martix Jr. They just have to find a little bit more. They just missed the balance a little bit on yesterday's race, but I bet they love coming up there to Loudon, and that was a fun day. It was a really good, fun race, but probably not for Trix. But hey, you get what you get, and don't throw a fit. But Trix did have a dominant car. He's still looking for a win. Like, Trix just looks way better than his two-time teammate Kyle Busch. So average day for Martix Jr. Finishing in fourth was Joey Logano. Logano had a really good day too. Like, Logano was like running up there most of the day, like running for top 5, top 10. But for them, it was an okay day. You know, they put a really good car for Joey Logano, something that was like pretty competitive. And in my opinion, I thought maybe it was something they could win with if they had the track position right. But they scored a few stage points. It was somewhat uneventful day, because Logano has not won since the pandemic, trying to get back to victory lane. Most likely will when we go to Michigan, because he's really good at MIS Speedway. But yeah, their pit stall was very challenging when I watched them on green flag pit stops, or just when the cautions came out. It's just kind of how that works right now. Like, if you have a bad race the race before, you get stuck with a really bad stall and stuck in between a couple cars that costs them a little bit. Like, they had that incident with the tire hose, like when for the tire changer, trying to get it around the car. They had an issue with that. That cost them a few spots, or a few valuable seconds. And then they're on one of those cautions there towards the end. They had to pit, and then and so on and so forth. And then they kind of got lucky and got a caution 5 or 6 laps after their pit stop, and they did fuel only and just made it really loose for the last run because they needed tires, because tires were wearing out pretty quickly at New Hampshire. So all in all, an average day for Joey Logano. Still looking for victory lane, but I think they're getting closer. And actually, Logano, he's one of the drivers I think will get a top 3 when we go to Michigan in both races for the doubleheader. Rounding up the top 5 and 5th was Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick, he had a decent day. You know, it didn't go all well for him at Kansas, and not really at New Hampshire either. But at the ending of the race, you know, when we have that long green flag run, he was starting to make up some spots because he did have fresher tires than the drivers in front of him. And yeah, Kevin Harvick, he didn't have a winning car. Like, I chose him to win, but he didn't. You know, Harvick's starting to fall off pace a little bit. But hopefully he can rebound, because he's won the last two summer Michigan races. So watch out for Kevin Harvick when we go to Michigan next week on Saturday and Sunday for the doubleheader. So yeah, watch out for Kevin Harvick. See what he can do, and hopefully can knock off another win, because now Hamlin is one win past Kevin Harvick. But this is just nothing really to say about Kevin Harvick. He just had an okay day. Finishing in 6th place was Matt DiBenedetto. Matt DiBenedetto, they had some troubles and had a fast car from the start. They just had to tighten it up some. And by the way, by Matt DiBenedetto, how he was driving that car and how I saw him like after the race, I saw he was a little frustrated at times just because of how fast of a car they had and how they were sort of stuck back in a little mess. They had some big trouble on one pit stop and really set them back. Because if you know, when you're at the back, like mid-pack, it's so crazy. You know, they're always like 3 wide going into like turn 2, turn 4, or something like that. But they were battling to try to get up where they belonged, and then once they did, they were pretty competitive. But I thought they had a car that could have ran in the top 2 or 3 until the very last run, where they just got a little too tight on the last set of tires, because, you know, no cautions came out with like 83 laps to go or something like that. But they were tight and lost a little speed, so they ended up still having a solid day, finishing in 6th, which I bet DiBenedetto's happy about, in the sense of their last 2 weeks were very rough as far as luck, you know, at Texas and Kansas. But they've had fast race cars, But the takeaway I take from it is that they've really been in a good groove for the last many weeks I can remember. Like for the last 7-ish weeks, they've had cars that can run up in the top 5 and top 10 no problem. So I'm really encouraged about Matt DiBenedetto moving forward. I think he'll stay in a good rhythm, and other than that, not too crazy of a day. But I'm glad they came out with a solid run that the team deserves when they're obviously fighting for points, trying to get in the playoffs. So overall, a pretty decent day for Matty D. Finishing in 7th, Eric Almirola. This is the 9th episode I've had Eric Almirola in my top 10 finishers, because he's just that freaking good. Like his, oh my gosh. Well, it's just, the streak continues. 9 top 10s in a row. Really, if I were Almirola, I'd be really proud of my team, because they ran up front a little bit in the beginning and were just off a bit on balance of their car, but it was a solid day for them. They continued to build a points gap back to the cutoff line to the guys in the playoffs, and they just continued the consistency. One of these days, they're going to get themselves a win. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a win at Michigan, because he's been doing pretty good at Michigan, the 10 car, not the 43 car. But yeah, watch out for Eric Almirola, guys. He's making it to the round of 8, hands down. Finishing in 8th is Cole Custer. Ever since Cole Custer got his win in Kentucky, minus Texas, he's been doing really good. Well, actually, ever since Indianapolis, July has just been a really great month for him. July, he got a top 5 finish, or top 10 finish, I think. Then next week, he wins at Kentucky, Texas, we don't talk about that. Kansas, he got a top 10 finish, and now he gets another top 10 finish here. Well, today, actually, the race was yesterday, but yesterday was definitely the run that they needed. If they can keep being this consistent, they'll have something for the playoffs. Like, if he keeps up this consistency until the playoffs start, I think he'll have a good shot at making it to the round of 12. If not, I already have, guys, before the playoffs start, I'm going to be doing a video about who do I think will be out in the round of 16. Like, I'll do it probably like the day before the race starts. Like, the day before the race starts, for the round of 16, I'll choose my drivers who I think will get eliminated. And then I'll do the same thing for the round of 12, round of 8, and I'll do my championship thing. I'm going to add some new things to my videos, kind of spice things up for my YouTube channel. But yeah, overall, pretty decent day for Cole Custer in the 41 team. Finishing in 9th place, Chase Elliott. Coincidence? I don't think so. But yeah, Chase Elliott, they were hoping to have a better finish yesterday. Like, I felt like that they were making some ground up there late in stage 2 and at the start of the final stage. Then those guys got ahead of them when they stayed out and they pitted, and those other guys pitted. But that got them back in traffic, and their drive-off wasn't good enough to drive back through the field like some of those other guys, but definitely not where they want to be, so they'll keep working and try to get it better. Because, at the beginning of the race, Elliott said that New Hampshire's a unique track, but not his best track. He said that it's kind of like ISM Raceway, but it kind of not, because ISM Raceway is kind of like Pocono. They're like very unique tracks. But yeah, an average day for Chase Elliott, getting a top 10. He's trying to turn Hendrick Motorsports around. But watch out for Hendrick Motorsports when we go to Michigan, because at Auto Club, they did really good, especially Alex Bowman and Jimmy Johnson. So watch out for them at Michigan. I expect something. Run the same Auto Club setup, you're going to get a really good finish. Well, hopefully, because they're 2 different tracks, but they basically built the same, though. And then finishing 10th, Tyler Reddick. New Hampshire Winter Speedway is one of the most challenging tracks on the circuit for, like, a driver for, like, Tyler Reddick. So to come out there with the top 10 finish, I bet it feels great for him. Like, they had a great starting spot with their number 8 car that didn't have but they didn't have the handling to keep the track position in their preferred line. But their car was very tight for most of the day, which made it really hard to roll the center of the quarters like they wanted to. So they had their hands full for the start of the race. But they had some great speed, though. They just had to adjust on their Chevrolet a little bit to get the handling to match it. But towards the start of stage 3, the handling loosened up enough for them to really start rolling up through the turns on the bottom and picking up some positions. Like, they were moving pretty quickly at the end, at the starting of stage 3. But with the final caution coming out, when it did, they had to focus on saving fuel for a long time in the final stage. But they managed it well enough to not only make it to the end, but also fight their way into a top 10 finish. So a good day for Tyler Reddick. He still holds the lead for the Rookie of the Year standing. Now we're going to rate this race. I would rate this race a good, solid 7.5 out of 10. Why would I not go to the 8s or 9s? If we would have like a couple cautions or a caution late at at the race yesterday, I think I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10 because we had a really good battle at the end of stage 2 where Keselowski won it over Denny Hamlin. So I think if we would have had a good like couple cautions, I think this race could have been better. But like I said at the beginning of this episode, I said that it's kind of like the Martinsville race, but it's a bit better than Martinsville race because we actually had some really, really good side-by-side racing, and it's really good to have fans go watch it in person instead of me and some other people who don't even live close to New Hampshire have to watch it on television. But anyway, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Let me know what you guys would give it in the comments below. Let's take a look at the playoff standings after New Hampshire. After New Hampshire, you got Hamlin in first with 5 wins, Harvick with 4 wins, then you got Keselowski now with 3 wins, Logano with 2 wins, Blaney with 1 win, and so forth. Then you got Elliott, Truex, Bowman, Dillon, and then Custer. Then with the drivers with no wins, you got Almirola, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Clint Bowyer, Matt DiBenedetto, Willie Byron. Bit of a cutoff line right here. Below it, you got Tyler Reddick, Jimmy Johnson, Eric Jones, and Bubba Wallace. I think it's Matt DiBenedetto. I mean, no, not Matt DiBenedetto, but Michael McDowell, but I'm not sure. But yeah, let's talk about the drivers below the cutoff line. Like Bubba Wallace, he had a decent day, not the best day. Still continues to fade back. Now some other drivers are challenging him for that 20th spot, like Michael McDowell, Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher, guys like that. Eric Jones didn't. This was not the day for Eric Jones. Eric Jones had a penalty. He had to stay for pitting outside the box. He had to stay a lap down. Got back on the lead lap. He started to make up some positions, but then got taken a lap down. You know, I remember seeing Hamlin put him a lap down. So not a good day for Eric Jones. If Eric Jones does not make the playoffs, then I think Bell is going to fill in that 20 car. Like my prediction is Keselowski's going to stay in the 2 car, and then I think Reddick will probably move to the 48 car. If that happens, I'll be very happy. But if Reddick does move to the 48, I think Eric Jones will probably go to the 8 car because that's a still solid enough ride, but you're just going to be moving to Chevrolet. But I don't know. We'll see what the future happens because apparently people are saying once the Keselowski domino falls, then everything else will fall. Like the DiBenedetto and some of the guys in Xfinity Series. We'll see what happens. Jimmy Johnson did not wreck the car, but he did spin out because of Bowyer's reckless driving. Now, it was all Bowyer. I don't know if Bowyer didn't have a spotter or if he was just driving hard because he was driving pretty recklessly. Like, you saw what he did to William Byron, just gave him a huge shove, knocked him out of the groove and stuff. So, Bowyer, you need to watch out, buddy, because Jimmy was not happy. Jimmy will probably get some retaliation or something. But yeah, Jimmy Johnson had a pretty decent day, a 12th place finish, which something you don't need. You probably need something better than that, which is a top 5, a win, or a top 10 finish. So Jimmy Johnson, I feel pretty confident in him when we go to Michigan and the Daytona Road Course, because at the Daytona Road Course, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, and Cole Custer are the only 4 drivers who've run the Daytona Road Course, and those 4 drivers are currently in the Cup Series. And then Tyler Reddick, he had a pretty decent day for him, trying to catch back up to William Byron, but we'll see how this unfolds. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. I will have a video hopefully up this week before the Michigan race. I'll try my best. And also, the Michigan doubleheader, I will film on Saturday after the race, and then I'll upload it Sunday morning, and then I will film on Sunday and upload it on Monday. So that's how it's going to be for those next 3 videos. So yeah, that's about it, guys, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.